questions, we'll give to the doctor.
Well, here's maybe one of those questions, because I'm really not aware how these work biologically. How does
You're a
it?
doctor?
You're not a doctor, so how do they actually work? In other words, this reaction you're describing of the violence and the,
Well,
just completely out of control. What causes that?
for bath salts in particular, they are methamphetamine derivatives. Those act on norepinephrine and dopamine receptor reuptake, if you want to get very technical. Essentially overflooding your brain with potent neurotransmitters that are excitatory neurotransmitters. So in that regard, you then lose control of your inhibitions, often see things. Another set of receptors, serotonin type receptors, are responsible for the hallucinogenic properties. Like Attorney General said, changing the structure of molecules even a little bit can switch the range of effects. But in overdose, generally all of them will produce this over-release of neurotransmitters.
So it sounds like it's closest in practicality to methamphetamines in terms of the reaction?
In the beginning, they were. As the chemists have become more sophisticated, they're able to sort of fine-tune the effect that you want. So I would say the current crop of new designer synthetic drugs are more hallucinogenic. But still in overdose, I would expect to see the same types of behavior.
Did no one foresee the ingenuity of these people to change the compound? Some reason why you didn't pass the original law to say any of these chemical structures or anything else?
Doctors leave it on.
I'm going to bail on that one.
I don't have a good answer for you. When the legislature passed the original bill, everyone thought that these were the things that were out there. These are the things we were seeing in our lab. We covered what we were seeing in the lab. Like the ingenuity of the bad guys, overcame that, and we think with this piece of legislation we have solved the problem.
Other states, are they doing the same?
Other states have had similar problems. As I've talked to other attorney generals, they're all in different stages of dealing with this. But many of them have gone through the identical problem that we had. It's been a moving target.
Under current law, how do officers even know, which compound is which? If they catch someone with one of these packages, how do they know it's the original compound or the modified compound?
Well, it all has to be tested at BCI, and so nobody knows for sure until we actually test it.
So they just make the arrest and then you test it later?
Well, they make the arrest or they file the charges depending on the situation, and but it's in that sense it's no different really in some respects than cocaine or anything else. And we don't know for absolute sure it's cocaine until you take it in and you test it, or any other.
I don't know
What is different about these is, there's no uniformity. So if we're testing prescription pills, for example, our BCI people in the lab, if there's a uniform pill, there's some assumption that if you test one, then every so many. You can't do that with this because there's just no guarantee what's in there, and so it's just the same package, but it's different each time. So you got to test each one.
I'm not sure where these are available, but is it possible, for example, my 14-year-old son to walk in and go, wow, these look cool, I like ninjas, and to buy that? Is there an age restriction? Are they going to stop him from buying it, or any youngster?
Well, the big scam, or the way that the retailers try to get around the law, is they say, oh, that's not for human consumption. Well, everybody knows it's for human consumption. So you certainly could have somebody walk in and like this kind of cute dopey over here, and take it and buy it. And if the clerk who didn't, clerk may not even know what it is. Clerk just came on, clerk doesn't know. Clerk's a 19-year-old kid, he didn't know.
But the law doesn't
So-
speak to it as far as whether the underage person can or can't buy.
Well, I mean, no. There's no rate. I liken this, Alan, to a situation we were in a while ago, frankly, when I was in the Senate, with cigarettes. And that, they're going all the lovely packaging that clearly was targeted to young people. I mean, absolutely targeted to people underage. No doubt about it. It was denied by the cigarette companies, but if you looked at the cartoon characters, the camel, all these things were clearly targeted to kids. Well, I mean, look at this. These are targeted to young people, and that's exactly what they're doing. I mean, these people are vicious marketers who are killing people, and they're just bringing about horrible tragedy. And we're not going to put up with it anymore. And they flaunt it. They do it right out in public. Other drug dealers, go behind a screen, or they go behind a car, or they go behind someplace. These people are right out in public doing it, and they act like killing people's okay. So, we've been working with law enforcement, but we've been frustrated, frankly. We've been taking these into the crime lab, and we're getting, results that don't match the law, and it means that we cannot file criminal charges. We're going to change that with this piece of legislation, and we're really going after it. And I've got agents who are just dying to get out there and make buys and do things. And we've got some people in our civil section who are dying to shut some of these places down and maybe take some businesses away from people. So people better understand what we're doing.
General DeWine, one of the things you said is you're going to be sending letters out today to